Good evening, everyone. Yes. We'd like to welcome you to the March 25th, 25 Township Council meeting. Thank you for being here with us. This is a regular meeting of the Council of the Township of Montclair and is being broadcast live on Channel 34 and is streaming live on the Montclair TV 34 YouTube channel. It's available on demand and can and will be rebroadcast. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act. The meeting was included in the annual notice of the meeting schedule as set forth in Resolution R24-249, adopted by the Township Council at its regular meeting of November 26, 24, advertised to the official newspaper on December 12, 24, December 19, 24, December 26, 24, and January 2nd, 25. It was posted on the bulletin boards outside of the municipal building and has remained consistently posted. In addition, a copy of the annual notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. I'm going to take the liberty to change the order of some things that were on here. We have on here that we're going to go into the Pledge of Allegiance and be honored to have a group that's going to come and sing the Black National Anthem because of the Black History Month and just because it's a wonderful thing for us all to know. But they are coming at 7, and so we're going to move forward, and at 7 p.m. at the time that they were notified, then we will try to integrate that in to the meeting. Madam Clerk, would you be so kind as to do roll call?
Yes, Mayor. Deputy Mayor Anderson?
Yes. I'm sorry, here.
Councilor Birmingham?
Here.
Councilor D'Amato absent. Councilor Lockman?
Here.
Councilor Toller?
Good evening, President.
Good evening. Councilor Williams?
Here.
Mayor Baskerville?
Present.
Thank you.
At this moment, I'd like to read a statement concerning the appointment of Stephen Marks as a township manager for the Township of Montclair. As the public is aware, the township manager's position has been in interim since July 2023. Initially, former township manager, Mr. Joseph Hartnett, stepped into that temporarily, took over the position, and he performed the duties until his unfortunate passing in August 2023. The township then appointed Mr. Michael Lapola to serve as the interim manager until a permanent manager could be recruited. The mayor and the council are grateful to you, Mr. Lapola, for your unwavering service, your commitment to be here and to stand steadfast on whatever the charges were and beyond. And we want to let you know how much it meant to us. Not once did you, even as we were going through movement that perhaps was not going to include you, you were here for us. And I personally am grateful for how you stepped up and helped me coming in July. A lot of things were uncertain. And thank you so very much. We're all grateful for the leadership of the township during this period, and both your patience and your professional assistance was just something that we can't speak enough about while a search was conducted, and we wish you well in your next chapter of your life. To fill the township manager's position, the mayor and the council commenced a search for the right candidate to take over the pivotal position, serving as the chief executive and administrative official of our Montclair Township. To assist them with this venture, the mayor and the council engaged the services of Jersey Professional Management, also known as JPM, a firm that specializes in executive recruitment for municipal leadership positions to seek qualified candidates for the position. Advertisements were placed on the New Jersey League of Municipalities website and with the International City and County Management Association. Following one-on-one interviews with the mayor and the council and municipal department heads, a more detailed brochure was developed and distributed through JPM's internal digital marketing database, and it reached approximately 1,500 municipal managers throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. In response to that, we got 34 resumes from interested candidates. From the initial list, the mayor and the council narrowed the pool down and granted interviews to 9 semifinalists, all of with very impressive credentials and experience. Through the course of the process, it became very clear that one candidate stood out from the rest. Mr. Stephen D. Marks, who is here with us this evening. Mr. Marks and his wife, Rosemary. Mr. Marks is an accomplished professional public administrator, a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey, and is accredited nationally by the American Institute of Certified Planners. Mr. Marks has 9 years of expertise as Chief Municipal Administrative Officer and 8 years as a county department head. He holds a Master of Public Administration degree from Rutgers University, a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from the College of New Jersey. Additionally, he's a certified associate of the United States Green Building Council and holds a certificate from the Association of Floodplain Management. In 2023, Mr. Marks was the recipient of prestigious Outstanding Professional Planning Award from New Jersey chapter of the American Planning Association. Let's give it up for Mr. Marks. Very, very impressive. A summary of his professional public management experience is as follows. Hudson County Planning Director from 2004 to 2012. City of Hoboken Assistant Administrator from 2012 to 2016. City of Hoboken Administrator from 2016 to 2020. And the Town of Kearny Administrator from 2020 until the present time. As administrator of the town of Kearny, Mr. Marks managed a comprehensive update to Kearny's master plan. He successfully renegotiated 7 collective bargaining agreements. He oversaw substantial updates to Kearny's public facilities, established a new community center, and led the efforts to improve Kearny's bond rating from A3 to A1 from Moody's Credit Agency, which represents an improvement of 2 rating classifications. Wow. At this point in time, I am going to ask that our Deputy Mayor Susan Shin Anderson read a resolution that we prepared, and that resolution is authorizing the appointment of our next Montclair Township manager.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my pleasure too. This is Resolution R-25-056, a resolution authorizing the appointment of a township manager for the Township of Montclair and authorizing the execution of an employment agreement relating thereto. And I'd like to just read the entirety of it since it's for everybody. Whereas pursuant to NJSA 40:69A-89, the municipal council shall appoint a municipal manager, also known as the township manager, to serve as the chief executive and administrative official of the municipality. at such salary and under such conditions as the municipal county by a majority vote may decide. And whereas it is the desire of the Township of Montclair to appoint Stephen Marks to serve as the Township Manager of the Township of Montclair commencing on April 1st, 2025, for an indefinite term as set forth in NJSA 40:69A-93 in accordance with the terms and conditions set forth in the appended employment agreement and pursuant to relevant state and local law. And whereas in accordance with NJSA 40:69A-92, the mayor and council of the Township of Montclair agree that Stephen Marks may reside outside of the municipality during his tenure of office. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Township of Montclair in the county of Essex and state of New Jersey that Stephen Marks is hereby appointed to serve as the Township Manager of the Township of Montclair pursuant to NJSA 40:69A-89, commencing on April 1st, 2025, for an indefinite term as set forth in NJSA 40:69A-93, in accordance with the terms and conditions set forth in the attached employment agreement and pursuant to relevant state and local law. And be it further resolved that the attached employment agreement be approved and authorized. I so move.
Second. I'd like to, well, first, is there any discussion?
Very.
Okay. I'd like to offer an amendment here where it says that the Township of Montclair agrees that Stephen D. Marks may reside outside of the municipality during his tenure of office. I'd like to add, as long as he is within 30 minutes drive. That's what we agreed on when we were making this up. Was there any reason it wasn't on here?
I think it was probably just not included because it's in the employment agreement, but if
Okay.
nobody else objects, we can certainly.
Yeah, I'd like to add that here, please.
I think the exact language of the agreement is that Mr. Marks will notify us or discuss with us if there is any plan for him to move outside of, distance of 30 minutes away. So just to be consistent with the employment agreement.
Okay, well, I wanted to add that because that was on the paper that I received, that he would live within 30 minutes. His residence would be within a 30-minute drive from the municipality of Montclair.
Yep, excuse me, we can put that in, I think that's fair, just emergencies arrive and things of that nature, we would need someone to be close by. We do have a deputy manager and a CFO that we could always call on if Mr. Marks can't make it here within the 30 minutes, but I don't see any harm in adding the language.
Madam Clerk, would you please?
But just to be clear, that language, sorry, just to be clear, in the employment agreement, so this, we could always let's say he wanted to move 40 minutes away. We could amend it. I just want to make this as straightforward as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deputy Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham,
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent.
May I just say something on behalf of Mr. D'Amato? He just wanted to welcome you. He's on vacation in Argentina, so was unable to be here, but he's very happy to see you here.
Counselor Lockman,
Yes.
Counselor Toller,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville.
Yes. Thank you. We'd like to welcome you. At this time, if you would like to come forward and say anything, we welcome you. Rosemary, we welcome you also. Thank you for being here. Tom, we noticed that you came in, and we're just grateful for, the work that you've done for us and the results that we have right here. We're excited. Thank you.
I am indeed honored and humbled.
It's not often that you get to hear nice things said about you while you're still alive. So thank you very much.
Wait till the next council meeting.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve as township manager. So I hope this isn't a deal breaker, but my entire family are Yankees fans. My all-time favorite player is Derek Jeter, the captain. He had 3,465 career hits, 1,923 runs, 1,311 RBIs, a .310 batting average, and no drama. My professional approach is a lot like Derek Jeter's MLB record. I would rather consistently get hits every day than swing for the bleachers and strike out. Small incremental accomplishments consistently made over time add up to big results. My wife and I live less than 5 miles away from here. We have 2 adult children and 1 new beautiful baby grandson. Montclair is one of our favorite destinations. Our second date 37 years ago was to the Wellmont Theater. Our first date was to a Yankees game. And we've been coming back ever since. In fact, we recently celebrated our 32nd wedding anniversary at one of our favorite local restaurants. Montclair is already a great town, and I look forward to working with municipal officials, residents, and businesses to make it an even better place to live, work, and visit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And again, I'd just like to personally thank you, Interim Manager Lapola. Let's give it up for Mr. Lapola. I know Manager Lapola, he has forged some amazing relationships with the staff and trusts, and I am sure our manager moving forward is going to do the same, but I just can't thank you enough for what you've done with the time that you've given us. At this point in time, we're going to move on with the agenda. We have a proclamation, and we can sign it. Pass it. We can sign it afterwards, right?
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So we have a proclamation here. So a couple of us on the council thought it would be a good idea if we acknowledge National Unplug Day, which is going to be March 7th.
Yeah.
It's just really an opportunity for us to unplug and reconnect with each other, basically. Right? So what I'm going to do is read a little bit of this proclamation, and hopefully everybody is voluntary participation, so hopefully everybody will participate. Declaring March 7th National Day of Unplugging. Whereas the first Friday in March is designated as a National Day of Unplugging, which kicks off a 24-hour period from sundown to sundown, unplug, unwind, relax, and do things other than using technology, electronics, and social media. And whereas research shows that 47% of Americans are addicted to their phones, with the average person checking his or her phone every 12 minutes, or approximately 80 times per day, and 55% of Americans between the ages of 23 and 38 are addicted to social media. And whereas the Township of Montclair wishes to join in the effort to encourage everyone to disconnect or unplug from all digital traffic, including cell phones, tablets, computers, televisions, and gaming devices, Friday, March 7th, 2025. And whereas the mayor and council encourage everyone to get outside and enjoy sounds and smells of nature, engage with one another in uninterrupted face-to-face conversations, or just enjoy the silence with no digital distractions. And whereas it is the hope that everyone can observe this day, or at a minimum just a few hours of unplugging, and recognize the negative effect that overuse of digital devices has on our mental health and well-being. Powering down for healthy periods of time allows us to recalibrate and focus appreciation and gratitude for lives we have been given by living life presently. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and council of the Township of Montclair, New Jersey, do hereby proclaim Friday, March 7th, 2025 as the National Day of Unplugging in Montclair, and ask that everyone join in unplugging for the day to allow for a digital reset and more human connections with the people around us. So, there you got it. March 7th, unplug.
Woo!
Unplug,
Woo!
reconnect.
All with it. All with it. Okay, we're going to move on to the public comment at this time. Please, if you wish to participate in the public comment time, sign your name up at the front. You'll get a number. Then when you come to the podium, please give us your name and state if you're a Montclair resident. And please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And we appreciate from the audience, if someone's at the podium, please give them the respect of not speaking or engaging in loud comments while they're trying to share with us. And when you come up, we're going to do the same for you. Thank you so much. We need everybody's participation in this. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Pat Lytle. I live on Union Street in Montclair. Is this better? Yes. I'm Pat Lytle. I live on Union Street in Montclair, where I've lived for more than 30 years at this point. And I'm here really to thank you all for the statement issued yesterday in support of the Montclair Township Animal Shelter. I'm a volunteer at the shelter, a big supporter of the shelter, and I strongly encourage you to continue giving the shelter your full support. I also want to thank again Third Ward Council member Mr. Williams. I was there volunteering one day, and you made the time to tour the facility with the director. It was right before the holidays, which is such a busy time of year. I'm sure you had many other things you could have been doing. So I really appreciated the time that you made to come and visit the shelter. The shelter really provides great service to the town. Of course, animal adoptions, that's the first thing that comes to mind, but there are so many other things as well. I've seen them reunite lost pets with their owners, help control with the feral cat population. When I first moved to Montclair, there were feral cats all over the place in my neighborhood, and now the only one I know of has been spayed. So they provide so many services. On Sunday afternoons, there's a reading program where kids about, I don't know how old they are, maybe they're second graders, third graders, they come and they read to the cats. It's the sweetest thing. And people who adopt pets from the shelter, they send pictures in of their of their much-loved pets. The staff is amazing. The director, the animal control officers, the vet tech, the animal attendants are all very professional, very knowledgeable, very hardworking, very helpful at all times. So again, I want to thank you for supporting the shelter and ask you to continue doing so. That's it.
Thank you very much. Next guest, please. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Barbara German, a lifelong resident of Montclair, and I'm here to speak about 16 Seymour Street in general, and the parking situation. I would like to know if anyone on the council today was on the council back when they implemented that walkthrough. Well, residents on the street, you can't, you're like a prisoner. You're afraid to go out after 5 o'clock, you come back, there's no space. They have that medical building, a daycare unit, the people come and park on the street because they don't want to pay to park in the parking lot. I don't know if they have to, but they rather park on the street if there's a free space. And it's just getting ridiculous for the people who live there, getting tickets left and right. And I have a handicap placard. I received 3 tickets in a warning myself. I've tried to contact this Emmanuel, that's his name. No response, twice, and I'm seeking to get a handicap space. And that's my point here tonight. This is my 3rd meeting. Nothing's being done, nothing's being said. So I would like to know what is the resolution.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think we had email correspondence going back and forth, and there's a whole big plan for Seymour Street, and I don't know if it's my fault if I didn't relay that to you, but one of the plans for Seymour Street, there's one handicap parking spot right there. There is space in front of that one to add another one.
Where?
There's space right in front of it. I went down with the parking utility, deputy police chief, the head of DCS, and we spent about 45 minutes just on Seymour Street. Matter of fact, after the meeting, email me, and I'll come down and I'll show you, and we'll talk
Yeah,
about
because
it.
I haven't seen the space.
It's not created yet. That's the plan. That's in the plan.
Okay, well, I know there's 2 of us that have handicap, but if we can get 1, then we'll have to first come, first serve it. But even just people who don't have handicap that are getting tickets, that have paid for, I think they said like $150 a month, and they're getting tickets and complaining. So something needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Next guest, please.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Brenda Jones. This is my first township meeting ever. I recently moved to Montclair maybe 8 months ago, so I'm new to the town from West Orange, and I'm still getting used to the parking situation. And when I first moved in, I think, well, there's an H parking, I think, I'm also on Seymour Street, 16 Seymour with Barbara. And I've got multiple tickets, and I was kind of confused because I have a parking permit. I'm paying for the permit, so I was confused. And then I also emailed you. I don't remember. We were going back and forth. You did tell me about the plan, and I wanted to. Well, you just gave me an update. But thank you for responding, by the way. And hopefully, I'll come to more meetings. But my concern is the constant tickets. If I have a permit, I know I didn't realize there was requirements. Whereas there's certain times of the day you can't park. And I explained that I'm a New York City public school teacher. I leave early in the morning to go to work. Frankly, I'm not going to move my car before I go to work and then come back and worry about all this stuff. So I do leave my car on the street still. So far, I haven't getting a parking ticket, thank God. But I don't know if anything else could be done. I don't know. Anything else, any suggestions?
So I'm breaking protocol here, but so there are 2 permits here. There's a C and an N.
Okay.
One is daytime and one is nighttime. So you have to get both in order to be able to park there. However, there is a solution for folks that don't want to move their cars during the day. There are about 10 spots available at a reduced rate at that parking deck that's right there on
The one
Seymour
with the
Street.
hospital on top?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. There are about 10 reduced spots. I forget the amount of it. We just put out something in a newsletter that gives you the number to call, but I can get you that number to call, and you can park there, and you don't have to worry about tickets. You will have to pay to park there, but you're already paying for a permit. So, that might be a good solution.
Well, my concern was that I didn't realize that you needed a additional parking to park in the daytime. And why is it a special requirement to park during the daytime?
Well, there's only there's a limited amount of spaces on Seymour Street, and it's probably one of the few streets in Montclair where it's permit parking only, and that's just to benefit the residents, right? So you have to buy, there's a permit parking for the daytime, and then there's one for the nighttime. And if you want to have all day, then you have to buy both. But if you want, contact me and I'll walk you through the process, and I'll connect you with the head of the parking utility.
Okay, just one more thing if you don't mind. So, but from other townships I've been in, it's only one parking permit, if there is any at all, and then you just pay one fee. Why is it 2 fees? Like, you know what
You are fortunate enough and unfortunate to live in the central business district, and there are 2 parking permits governing parking in the central business district. So that's kind of the reason why. But you know what? Look, contact me and
sure.
we'll speak about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next guest, please.
Hello, my name is Shannon Hivick, and I live on 18 Trinity Place in Montclair. And I'm here tonight to advocate for the Montclair Township Animal Shelter, the director, Liz Morgan, and the reinstatement of the transfer program. The former town manager has unfortunately diminished services by cutting staff and slashing programs. The shelter is short-staffed and down 1 animal control officer and 1 kennel attendant. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The shelter is short-staffed and down 1 animal control officer and 1 kennel attendant. This is damaging to the animals, staff, and to the community. The Montclair Animal Shelter deserves better. We must provide the necessary tools for the shelter to thrive. Please, we need to hire more staff. The greater concern by many in Montclair is that the diminishing of services at the shelter is intentional to make it weak and then shut it down. People are scared. People are scared because this would be a tragic outcome. A healthy and adoptable dog or cat is killed in America's shelters every 90 seconds just because they don't have a safe place to call home. Every 90 seconds. Please, let's reinstate the transfer program so we can help reduce the number of healthy and adoptable animals being euthanized. We can at least do our small part. Montclair is better than this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next guest, please.
Good evening, Bill Harrison.
Good evening.
First, I want to commend you for hiring Mr. Marks. I regretted when Mr. Marks left the planning world to go into the township administrator business, but I see it was all for the good. I think that you made an excellent choice. I'm returning to my favorite topic. One, I want to thank you for the resolution you passed at the last meeting on Woodman Field. The Board of Education seems not to have been willing to listen. I think you should give them another opportunity to apply before the season starts. Otherwise, I think you need to take the appropriate action to enforce the decision of the Board of Adjustment to require them to apply and preclude them from doing anything further until they do apply. If they apply in the next 2 weeks or before the season starts, I think they should proceed, and we'll hear the application and give the neighbors a chance. I was informed by Mr. Garcia that the inevitable has happened, and at least one of the neighbors has entered a lawsuit, and I think before everyone spends a lot of money on lawyers, I would urge you to do what's necessary to make the Board of Education follow the law. If they felt the Board of Adjustment decision was wrong, they had an opportunity to appeal it. They participated in the hearing. They didn't appeal. They're bound by that decision, and you should enforce it. Third, on a more pleasant topic, at last night's planning board hearing, you had a little discussion about the fact that in that area of town that was subject to the application, but it's also many other areas in town where the lot width requirement has no relationship to the actual lot sizes. Board of Adjustment several years ago made a recommendation that that be remedied. It can't be fully remedied. I don't know if it was the planning board or the township council at the time decided not to do it. I urge you to do it. As two of you observed, it's a silly situation where virtually none of the lots in several neighborhoods match the lot size requirement. And finally, on the stormwater escrow, as I said before, the ordinance needs to be remedied so it's clear that it's only permits that involve a stormwater review that are paying the escrow and not everything else. And all of that in still 18 seconds. Have a good night. And again, commend you for Mr. Marks.
Thank you very much.
May I go? Sure. Okay, just, Mayor, we're going to talk about, Chairman Harrison mentioned that there was a pleading filed in Superior Court today. We'll talk a little bit about that when we go into closed session. I don't want to discuss litigation out here. Also, trying to give an update that while we're not in a place where we've reached amicable resolution yet, the Board of Education has made some concessions. We're just not all the way where I think we need to be. We'll talk a little bit more about that in closed as well. I don't want to violate any professional responsibility by disclosing confidential settlement negotiations out here. But Mayor, I know you've been working hard on this, Councilor Birmingham. I know you have. I know other members of the council have also been working diligently to try to reach some form of resolution that provides as much satisfaction as possible to the greatest amount of people on this. So,
Thank you very much, Attorney Garcia. Next guest, please.
Well, that was unsettling, but first, Tony Martin, 41 North Fullerton Avenue. I must begin by apologizing because my deodorant may not be working effectively. I just got here from the library, where the HVAC never works effectively. And when it's a little bit of a warm day, it's boiling in there. And when it's a cold day, it's freezing. I, as some of you know, am a director of Succeed Together's nonprofit tutoring program, after-school tutoring program for kids K through 12, and so I'm there most days of the week. And I was there when they had to close because people were mopping their brows and, you know, nearly fainting, and they just couldn't take it. And I've been there when it's so cold that kids wear 2 coats as they try to do their work. So this is just a plea for better HVAC at the library, which I know they've requested the funding for. It is over and above what is ordinarily given them, but you know, the library is all of our home. All of us love our library. I know every single one of you cares. So, despite the money problems, I hope you'll do that. Also, I just want to say to the new town manager, go Yankees.
Thank you very much. Next guest, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nicole Farjani, 21 Van Vleck Street. I didn't come to talk about this, but as I hear about the parking problems, I'm hoping the new town manager will tackle this and make it a more equitable. We need an equitable solution. I feel if people pay rent here or pay a mortgage here, they should have access to free parking. Blanket. Let's stop ticketing people that pay rent here, or some people that just don't have a driveway and they pay a mortgage here, or they own a house. Thank you. But I came here for a happy reason. I hope I think you all got an invite to come to our crescent moon lighting. Montclair is having our first crescent moon lighting for Ramadan. If you and your wife are having a date this Friday in town, 5 p.m. at the Wellmont. I hope people will come out to wish our Montclair Muslim population a very healthy and peaceful month. And I hope to see many of you there if you have the time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Next guest, please.
Good evening, Sarah Avery, Montclair resident. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Pledge of Allegiance is ingrained in my soul and informs my existence and belief in equity. It's a prayer meant to unite the constituency in solidarity. Growing up, my mother dragged us kids all around the countryside to visit colonial homes and Revolutionary War sites. It made me consider how those who came before us lived, the hardships they endured, and recognize the good fortune we enjoy to live in such comfort. My roots are in colonial America. My great-grandparents were sons and daughters of the American Revolution. My ancestors died for independence and democracy, and this country is throwing it away. But that's not to say my ancestors were perfect. A family genealogy about the Bergen County Wartendykes, written by a cousin, states, Jacob Wartendyke kept 5 slaves, an uncommon number for those days. The census records of 1790 for other states in the area bear this out. Most slave owners had only 1 or 2. The 1910 census for Riverside, New Jersey includes an African-American servant by the name of Etta Watson, who was born in North Carolina and living as a servant in my great-grandparents' home. We were not taught about slavery in New Jersey. It was as if it did not exist. But every problem we face is because the incredible trauma of slavery has been whitewashed and denied. The damage caused by this corruption is incalculable. Perhaps I am sensitive because my children are people of color. As a professional services provider, I always have an engagement fee and a budget. It is critically important to keep track of both, as the impact on the profitability and cash flow of the company are dependent upon that. If I anticipate excess charges on a job, I have to obtain client authorization to proceed before incurring further expense. Not to do so is not illegal, just bad business. On the other hand, municipality professional service providers are contractually and legally required to stop work when charges reach 70% of the not-to-exceed amount and await authorization from the council. It's a felony for an attorney representing the municipality to procure services that exceed the cap. An approval after the fact is a betrayal of public trust. Every act of fraud, embezzlement, corruption, and waste continues the cycle of abuse that destroys communities, undermines democracy, and makes a mockery of those who perished fighting for our independence. Thank you.
Thank you. Next guest, please.
Hi, good evening. Anna Grossman, Essex Avenue. Thank you for your help at the last session moving forward what sadly seems to not resonate with the BOE. But I appreciate your help. I mean that. I wanted to check in on the status of 50 Greenwood. I'm worried for them. I'm worried that that building is sort of being demolished by neglect because the deed restriction expires, I think, in 2027. And I'm worried that the person who owns the building doesn't want to maintain the affordable housing in it. I don't have anything to base that on other than just math. I understand that the benefits they get are sort of at the front end, and so as that term expires, And I'm worried about the people who are living in the building and the conditions they're living in and what is happening. And it's not just paint or rodents, although that's bad enough. These are really life-threatening situations. Like when there's an entrance that people can't get into, that creates a situation where EMS cannot access when somebody is trying to save their relative. And so these are real situations that have happened there. And I think it's imperative that we take care of our neighbors there and make sure that they have adequate housing and also somewhere to go if that building stops being an affordable house. That's something that's dear to me, and I think ties in with Woodman Field. It took me a long time to become a homeowner. It was something that was on my mom's mind literally up until she died. As an Italian mom, knowing that her kid had a home to live in was important. My mom had been homeless for a period of time. When I grew up, I had, this is like the world's smallest fucking violin, sorry. But, when when I was growing up, we lived in a very old building and I was in the attic and the roof leaked, so I would wake up with rain on my face. So for children, having accommodation that isn't adequate or that is unhealthy is really unsettling and can cause a lot of anxiety. So there are kids in that building and there's secondhand smoke, and that's really major. In my little time left, I wanted to just say a little story about Liz Morgan and her integrity. I really believe in her as a person, and I'm sad that people here don't really recognize the integrity she has. She helped my friend find a dog. This was completely outside of the shelter and before I even stepped foot in 205, so it had nothing to do with me being vocal. And when my friend wanted to pass along quite a good donation, because she's a wealthy person, I asked Liz, who should she make the check out to? And Liz said, to the Friends of Montclair Township Animal Shelter, even though that is not where the dog came from. So FOMTAS got a big donation from Liz's work outside. That's someone who has integrity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next guest, please.
I'm going to turn this over if that's okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Noah Gale, and I am here tonight for a few reasons. I'm going to be very brief because I know there's other people that need to go up, and I know we have item resolutions to vote on, but one, I would like to congratulate our new township manager, Stephen Marks. Thank you for getting that done. And we'd like to thank outgoing interim town manager, Michael Lapola, for the last 7 or 8 months, however long, 20 months. Thank you. And I'm glad we were able to hire a permanent one, but don't worry, you'll never be replaced anyway. Anyway, number 2, I know this has the Montclair Town Council has nothing to do with the Board of Education and the schools ever since we became an elected board, which is a good thing, by the way. However, I am going to speak about, I missed speaking at the last Board of Ed meeting because I was in a rush. Because I was in a rush to get somewhere, so I'm going to speak about it here to the Town Council. Does anyone know in November 2022, Montclair voters, including people who aren't in the school system anymore, like me and my parents, voted for a bond referendum because to repair and renovate and rebuild our crumbling the schools that are over a century years old, that are over 100 years old. Does anyone know whatever happened to that bond money or budget and with the Board of Ed? Because so far I've heard nothing, and so far I haven't even heard the buildings or any part of the facilities in the schools being repaired. So if someone could give an update, that would be great. Number 3, I hate to say this, but as all you all know, we have a New Jersey governor election coming up. Sorry, it's got political hair, but because our current governor can't run because he's term limited. You can only have 8 years and 2 terms as governor in New Jersey for life. And I wanted to know, I heard something that our predecessor, who's currently running for governor, apparently in 2020, the first time he ran, Renee, apparently your predecessor, Sean Spiller, stole the election from Renee Baskerville. Not good. So how is New Jersey allowing someone to run for governor when our former mayor tried to destroy democracy in our town? That is not cool. Not good at all. Especially at a time when democracy is currently being threatened right now, and we're so backwards in our country. We need to make sure we preserve and protect and defend our democracy. It's okay to agree to disagree with people. However, isn't my time up? Okay, I'll be brief then. However, no fighting should be allowed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Noah. Next guest, please.
Thank you, Noah. Good evening. My name is Jeremy Folwatana. I am it's okay. Thank you, Noah. I'm the director of Downtown Montclair. I am a resident. I am a business owner. I am the PTA president of Glenfield Middle School. I love everything about Montclair, and why I'm here is because I wanted to share some information to the public that Downtown Montclair is going to be throwing a music festival called Porch Fest. Yeah. All right. Montclair Porch Fest is coming to town. Got it? Great. Matt, you should do a story on it, the local. There it is. So the press release is out on the local, but yeah, I think, Matt, you should write one up. So what we're doing is we're bringing Porch Fest to town. We have 195 bands currently that are going to be playing on porches all across Montclair, New Jersey, and we are asking for more people to sign up for porches if they happen to have a porch they want to take place and take part in this festival. It's May 17th. We're going to be having a great day that day. I talked to Matt as well, seeing if you guys can put that out to the residents to get the word out, because I'm very thankful for today. And the reason I'm thankful is because we got the permit signs, because we're closing down Bloomfield Avenue and we're going to throw this party after these bands play, and we're going to celebrate the community together. And we're going to have multiple organizations that are going to be out, and including the Montclair Township Animal Shelter, because we're going to raise some awareness and some funds for them too. Okay, so I hear you, Liz Morgan. But yeah, so what we're going to be doing is just inviting, maybe you guys can help out by sharing some information. Why I'm thankful is because we got the permit. Mr. LaPola happened to sign that, and thank you so much. We appreciate that from downtown Montclair, and hoping moving forward, we're going to do some more events with you guys as well. And congratulations to you. Nice to meet you, sir. And so Montclair Porch Fest, May 17th.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah? Rock on. Woo! Let's go. All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Next guest, please.
Number 12.
Don't carry my own mic. I'm Chrissy Thomas. I live at 257 North Mountain Ave. I grew up in Montclair. I went to Edgemont, Mount Hebron, Glenfield, Wesleyan, UPenn, UVA, and Georgetown. I have a BA, an MBA, a Master's in Public Policy, and a JD degree. My law practice is in Montclair, and I love this town. And I'm so grateful to Mayor Baskerville, Councilors Shenanderson, Lohman, D'Amato, Birmingham, Williams, and Toller for volunteering to run and for doing so much more than you anticipated would be necessary to try and keep our government running smoothly during these difficult times. I'm also grateful to every person that's in this room today because you all think it's important enough to come to town council meetings, giving up time with your families, or sometimes bringing your children, and for some of you to speak your minds and share your wisdom and knowledge with us all. You're all extraordinary assets to this exceptional town, which is going through a period of transition right now. I'm hopeful that our enthusiasm doesn't wane as the job grows tedious or as we think we know better or we have learned how to play some game. This is not a game, and every day our expectations grow for Montclair to thrive regardless of the current state of the union and who's in power. We have exciting things like Porch Fest to look forward to. In January 2024, Montclair's interim town manager, Mr. Lapola, transitioned to a full-time role with pay increase, bringing an annualized all-in cost to around $280,000 a year. That's a salary of more than $23,000 a month for a government job. As of January 2024, Montclair's town manager received an annualized all-in cost of approximately $280,000 with a base salary of $210,000. In comparison, the average town manager salary in New Jersey is around $121,000, $103,000 per year. The highest reported town manager salary in New Jersey is $162,345,000, paid by the town of Newton, according to government salaries. Therefore, Montclair's town manager is among the highest paid in the state, if not the highest. Now, I don't know if all of you remember, but when we were dealing with Tim Stafford back in 2023, the council forgot about the 90-day notice period from the date of termination. According to the statute, you either give the manager a 90-day notice or you give him no notice and you pay him for 3 months' salary. I'm confused as to why there's not a resolution dealing with the town manager that took place in January, if you all understood the process. If you don't understand the process and you're still hiring somebody effective April 1st, then why haven't we taken appropriate action? We have a new attorney that can be explaining all of this to you. They're not small sums of money, so you can see my concern. Similarly, as to the legal contracts, I take issue. It's improper to ratify bills for services already provided, as Sarah Avery pointed out. It's just not allowed. Indeed, when the contracting attorneys reach 70% of their not to exceed, they're required to stop work and notify you of the need for a resolution. I also heard the town manager attempt to I urge you to vote no on numbers 8, 11, and 20. They're flawed requests. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next guest, please.
Good evening. My name is Rhea Tompkins. I reside at 50 Greenwood Avenue. I am up here today to thank the LTAC, Councilwoman Amina Toller, definitely Anna Grossman, and the Seton Hall Law, who has stuck by us from the beginning of this journey since 2018. They have continued to assist my sister Rosie Harrison and I regarding our issues at Union Garden Apartments. I guess by now everyone has seen or heard about the article the Montclair Real did regarding our living conditions. First and foremost, I guess pictures are worth 1,000 words because we've been pleading for help since 2018 and nothing. After the article, my bathroom was repaired. I no longer have to wear a shower cap while taking a bath. As for my paint job, management advised me it had to be scheduled on March 4th, but for reasons I won't disclose, I advised management that no one will be entering my unit if I'm not here or someone can be there in my place. I emailed the management and CC'd Ms. Tassie from Code Enforcement and LTAC that I will be available on March 20th and March 21st. As of today, I have not received confirmation from management of which day my paint job will take place. That being said, after the article, I had many people wanting to speak with us. I appreciate Mayor Baskerville for speaking with me personally regarding our situation. One issue I have is one person that I have not heard from was our 3rd Ward councilman. That says a lot and will be remembered. Ahava from Toom did contact me, but I advised her of everyone who is assisting us, and we would not be working with Toom or the deputy mayor. In October 2022, Ahava had a meeting with approximately 20 to 30 tenants. She explained that what TUM was and what they did. She collected $15 from most, if not all, of the tenants. We were under the assumption we were now a tenants association. We didn't know what the next step was and never received guidance from anyone at TUM. The next time I heard from anyone at TUM, a gentleman contacted me to ask if I wanted to be on their 4th of July float. We may have been naive, but my sister and I assumed representatives from TUM would be helping us along the way. As far as we're concerned, TUM collected our money and nothing. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next guest, please.
Mayor, there's no one signed up. Hold up, I'm going. Oh, sorry, Mayor.
Deirdre Malloy, Chair of Landlord Tenant Advisory Committee, resident of Montclair, served the community for 15 years this year as Housing Commissioner, Chair, Co-Chair of Housing Commission, Environmental Commissioner as one term, and the latter years as Chair of Landlord Tenant. I have a problem with what I just heard, because on February 2nd, Carmel Lockman and Susan Shin Anderson recommended that TUM replace Landlord Tenant Advisory Committee. That maybe we're overstepping our bounds. We are not. So facts in response to that, and furthermore, when any organization takes money from a consumer with the, I guess, intention of providing a service and does not, then that could be considered a false promise, deception, fraud, I don't know. Had something like that come to Landlord Tenant Advisory Committee, it's not something within our purview. What we would refer it out to resources in which others would be able to investigate. I don't know if they cash apped or sent money to TUM or to Natasha Richardson, also known as Ahava Felicidad, or not. But that's a problem. The other thing I want to talk about is Carmel Lockman mentioned at the last council meeting that you asked for minutes and you never received them. You were told via email that the secretary was out and that you would get them upon her return. But as a courtesy to you, I sent you 3 random minutes, just randomly. And you asked for those minutes after a week or so ago saying that you didn't want to be included on landlord tenant advisory emails, which I didn't include you on, someone else did, when we were talking about a homeless man who ended up homeless and came here with his child because of a situation that staff created, not landlord tenant. Then, interestingly enough, when landlord tenant received a complaint about a popular realtor in town who is likely very friendly with you, you all of a sudden wanted to receive minutes and information from how the committee worked and what our resolutions were, but you told me that it was for the sole purpose of revising the indemnification ordinance 0-24-29 to include committees and volunteers. And in response, I said, that is already something that's covered. And I recommended that you look at the volunteer handbook, which needed revising, the resolution, which we operate within 4 corners of. And I have one more thing to say, because I'm really pissed off. I don't appreciate the fact that none of you, besides Mayor Baskerville and Councilor Toller, ever reached out to me to find out anything that was happening with these tenants at Union Gardens. And that's what all of this is about. Because for 6.5 weeks, Ms. Tompkins did not get a response to an email. And so what happens is when Landlord-Tenant Advisory Committee works with landlords and tenants, it is an indifferent committee. We only do fact-finding. And if the facts display that there was a breakdown from either code enforcement or somewhere else, then we identify that. Now, typically, departments work well with us. And I'm going to finish. I'm almost done. But in this case, it seems to be an overstepping of bounds because people either have a problem with servicing this tenant base or they're frustrated because we're applying pressure for them to do their job a little bit better. Now, again, I'm happy that we have a township that cares or is alleged to care. But let me ask you this. Was it an overstepping of bounds when in 2022 you emailed me personally to help you with a landlord who had a landlord-tenant issue? Okay? Was it an overstepping of bounds in 2023 when after we did the investigation on the building, working with a lot of people in this municipality, that we discovered that code enforcement was sending the bills for violations to a post office box in Ohio? And it wasn't until they learned that we have direct contact with the landlord, because that's what we do within the resolution, work with landlords and tenants, where it was discovered that there was an excess of $100,000 in fines that was not being collected. But after we got involved, provided the right address to support code enforcement, they ended up settling in court for over $80,000. Maybe another bird poop net. I don't know. Was that an overstepping of our bounds, or was that the committee helping the municipality?
Thank you so much for your service to the community. I know you've been doing a lot of things for a long time. Thank you.
You're welcome, and I'm going to stop there. But you can meet with me, you can talk with the committee. You know, the people who serve on this committee are professionals, we care. I've helped so many people in this municipality. Montclair Police Department, last thing I'm going to say, has me on speed dial. And shout out to Montclair's finest and shout out to Montclair's bravest, who need to be paid for every dollar they make. They shouldn't be volunteers. They have dangerous jobs. But the last thing I'll say is, here's another example. But you don't know. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. The water department ended up shutting off.
Excuse me, please.
Yes?
We've been generous with the time.
You have been.
And I appreciate it.
I can go on.
Please.
Landlord-tenant helps this community.
Yeah.
And I've worked with Michael Apola to resolve issues behind the scene that you don't know about. So please, show some respect. Last thing I'll say is, whether you want to disband the committee or not, I don't need permission to operate as an advocate for civil rights, housing, or anything. My power is palpable. And I don't need permission from anybody in this township to exercise rights for anybody who needs help. That's nobody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your patience. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for your service. Many of us appreciate you. At this point in time, I noticed that the Brown family that I mentioned earlier, they seem to be all here with us. So I'd like to invite the Brown family to come. I'd like to invite the Brown family to come. I know. I'm going to go back to them because they started signing up afterwards. So I'd like to invite the Brown family. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Thank you.
We're going to do the pledge. Yeah, we're going to do that. Yep. So we're going to do what we normally do at the beginning of the meeting, which is to stand for the Pledge of the Allegiance. And after we do that, we have with us the Marlon Brown, Kathy Brown family. We have Amber Brown and Layla Brown. Marlon Brown was born and raised here in the Montclair Township, as were Amber and Layla. And Kathy Brown is the deputy clerk for our Essex County commissioners. So thank you all for taking your time to be with us this evening. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicings rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the bright gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk from the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! Thank you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. Fan, how many people are on the list now? Because we're going to close the list after that. How many people do you have on the list?
2 more.
2 more, okay. We're going to hear from the 2 more people that are on our list, and then after that, we're going to approve the minutes and move forward with our agenda. Thank you so much, Brown family. Let's give it up for the Browns again. I mean, yes.
Good evening, Mayor, councilors.
Good evening.
My name is Bill Stein. I live at 40 Godfrey Road in the 2nd Ward. I'm here to urge you to support the capital budget request from the Montclair Public Library. As a longtime patron of the library and a volunteer at the library, I've seen the broad array of people it serves, from toddlers to teens to seniors, for a wide variety of vital needs in our community. The main library was last renovated almost 30 years ago. Many of the critical systems, heating, air conditioning, and so on, are past their useful life and are urgently in need of replacement and repair. And in general, I think the library needs a refresh. It's heavily used to make it even more attractive. And similarly for the Bellevue Avenue branch, which is an architectural treasure in our community, is really deserving of preservation and upgrading and accessibility for all residents of Montclair. So I'm just here to urge you to seriously consider this important capital request. It's a vital institution in our township and really deserves support from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next and final guest for today's meeting, please come to the podium.
Hi, I wasn't going to speak tonight. I'm Lynn Stockhammer. I live on Forest Street. And hearing Ms. Malloy and everyone else who preceded her tonight,
Mike.
Time is tolling. Hello, I'm Lynn Stockhammer. I reside on Forest Street in Montclair. I was not planning to speak tonight, but hearing Ms. Malloy and everyone who preceded her, I'm absolutely appalled that Ms. Nieves has chosen not to take minutes. I think that these comments should be recorded in posterity. I was at a meeting where Ms. Nieves stated that she was not required to take detailed minutes. I have not seen anything being written down. I may be wrong. You perhaps may review tapes and transcripts. I'm not aware of what's done behind the scenes. But there are things that are very, very critical in this town and that get ignored. And if there's no record of what residents have to say, are we erasing history the way this national administration is now erasing history? I just don't get it. Thank you to everybody who spoke tonight, and welcome to the new town manager. Thank you.
At this point in time, we're going to move on to approval of the minutes. I'd like to make you've been given the minutes from our February 6th, 2025 and February 10th, 2025 meetings, and the minutes from the conference meeting held on February 11th, 2025. I'd like to thank Madam Clerk for providing the minutes that you always provide for us for these meetings. We appreciate them very much. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Any changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't at some of those meetings.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving right along. We are going to start with the pending ordinance. Councilor Birmingham?
This is pending ordinance 025-04, an ordinance to amend section 121-4 construction codes, uniform fee schedule of the code of the Township of Montclair, New Jersey. And I so move.
I second.
Discussion? Okay, I'm going to open. I'm going.
Is there
I'm
still
going to
discussion?
I'm sorry.
Is there still discussion, or?
Oh, yeah, you can discuss. I'm going to open it for the public next. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the only thing that I was going to say, just in responsive to Mr. Harrison, it didn't appear in the original, in the posted packet, but I see in the
in a corrected ordinance that we all received right here with the packet. Paragraph B, the use of escrow funds. I see that the language that was
Sorry,
there before.
we're doing a different, Susan, we're
This
doing
one.
A.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This
My
one.
bad. Thank you. I'll reserve my comments.
Is there anyone from the public that wishes to be heard on the ordinance A that we just heard? No? Yeah, Counselor Toller?
Yes, thank you. I know Mr. Harrison mentioned permits should only be for, are you saying, can you just clarify what you were?
No, it's
for the next one?
That's the next one.
Okay. Whoa. Right. All right, thank you.
And Mayor, yeah.
Yes. Counselor Birmingham?
I just want to say to those who didn't hear the first reading of this, but these are fees that are updated. They had not been updated in a very long time and years. And I think they're now in line with other townships. So that's why I'm in support of this.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham?
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent. Counselor Lockman?
Yes.
Counselor Toller?
Yes.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville?
Yes. Thank you. We're going to move on to new business ordinances. Counselor Lockman, please.
Sorry. So ordinance 0-25-02, the Township of Montclair, an ordinance to amend Section 295 of the Stormwater Control of the Code of the Township of Montclair, New Jersey. I so move.
Second.
Discussion?
Now, yes, Mayor.
Yes.
Now
Deputy Mayor?
I'll say that the language that was in the prior version were in paragraph B, use of escrow funds, where it said, the township shall be authorized to draw funds from the escrow account to cover costs incurred by the township in processing the stormwater control plan or permit application. The language or permit application has been deleted, so that change has been made.
It's in two places.
Counselor Toller, did you have anything?
I did. I just wanted to make sure that what Mr. Harrison stated in public comment, that we have that included. Or
There were two places.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
A, I think A and the paragraph you mentioned.
Yep.
Yep, Counselor.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
No, you're too late. God.
Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham?
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent. Counselor Lockman?
Yes.
Counselor Toller?
Yes.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville?
Yes.
All right.
Deputy Mayor, please, would you do ordinance 0-2506?
Ordinance 0-2506, an ordinance amending salary ordinance 0-2007 of the Township of Montclair and the County of Essex, fixing the salary range thereof, and this is to amend the maximum salary for the position of Township Manager for the year 2025. I so move.
Second.
Discussion? Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham?
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent. Counselor Lockman?
Yes.
Counselor Toller?
Yes.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville?
Yes. Thank you. Manager LaPola, would you please help us with the consent agenda? Yeah, I think so. Counselor Toller?
Yes. Consent agenda items number 8, 11, 14, 16, 20, and now 23.
8, 11, 14, 16.
Oh, okay.
20 and 23 are not there, so
8, 11.
we're going to take
14,
8, 11, 14, and 16, remove them from the consent agenda, and I would like to move resolutions that are listed as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 17, and 18. I so move.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, we're going to move to Resolution R25-045. Councilor Williams? Number 8.
Resolution R-25-045, resolution authorizing the township to award professional services contract for labor attorney to Cleary Giacobbe Alfieri Jacobs LLC to serve as special labor and employment attorney for CY 2025. So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I don't know why we're reading this one. I'm sorry. This one was being pulled.
I thought we were going to pull it and we were going to discuss it separately.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Sure.
So this is the separate discussion right now?
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause you-
Okay.
Right, so we approved it already. So move
Yeah, I just feel like with a new manager coming in, I feel it would be appropriate for a person to decide which firms we want to use, if we need to use firms, and let him decide the best course of action to take for running the department. So we have Cleary Giacobbe on here several times. It's just not making a lot of sense to me. So I would like to vote that.
Can I say
Okay,
something?
yes. Councilor Lockman?
I believe our HR person, Alicia Dawkins, she recommended, after careful consideration, in an email that she sent to all of us, that this firm be used. And I'm inclined always to let the people who are managing the process decide who they want to work with, and as they understand more clearly than we do what's going on with the firm that they're working with, I don't know why we would question their judgment about who should be hired.
And they've been acting as our attorney before, right? Like, they've been, this is,
I'd like to say that I definitely would never just give anybody's thought processes carte blanche for anything. While I certainly respect our Director of HR very, very much, and I believe we have a wonderful relationship, just because the Director of HR says something doesn't make it correct for me. And so whatever it is, whether it's this or something else, I always think it through myself and through my own lens, and try to make sure that things that are very important to me may not be violated by someone else maybe not even thinking of those things that are important to me. So I just wanted to add that not everyone sitting up here is just going to go along with somebody else just because they said so, even though they can be incredible, as our Director of HR certainly is.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just, we're in a transition period, and I don't think we should be making such rash decisions. It's no disrespect to Ms. Dawkins, who's a wonderful woman, who is definitely running HR the way that it should be. Again, with a new manager coming in, you may have a different conversation with him, or he may have a different conversation with you. That's my take on it.
I have a question. Are there pending labor and employment matters here that the firm is handling? You don't have to.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, are there pending labor and employment matters here without getting into any?
that Cleary Giacobbe is already managing.
Okay. So and so I appreciate, excuse me. So I appreciate Ms. Dawkins taking the time to send us the information. If the firm is handling ongoing matters, I am going to kind of, in this situation, going to defer to the staff, and I don't think that, I don't know if it's, I mean, we have a month before the new manager starts, and the law department is overseen by the township attorney, not the manager. So I am inclined to move forward with or vote yes for this.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham?
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent. Counselor Lockman?
Yes.
Counselor Toller?
No.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville?
Yes. The next one that we moved was 11, Resolution R25-048. Counselor Toller.
Sure, thank you. Resolution amending the fair and open contract of Cleary Giacobbe Jacobs LLC as special counsel for labor and employment matters. Again, this is the one where I think I had a question at the last meeting regarding the not to exceed, and it's being presented to us that we should exceed it in this current fiscal year. I did ask the manager if this was appropriate. I was told by, I think, Mr. LaPola or either you, that tallying up bills may run over into January from 2024, but this is February, and I just, again, I don't feel comfortable that this is appropriate to do because, as I mentioned it to you before, we don't pay bills in our own district this way. I really didn't get a firm answer that this is actually the thing we should be doing. Yes, it's a small amount, $5,000, but it's still money, and I just want to make sure that we're not violating any laws by doing so.
Okay. So you're not violating any laws, right? That was
Attorney Garcia.
Sorry, Mayor, I should have asked permission to speak. I apologize for the misstep.
No worries.
At the last meeting, someone from the audience, I apologize, I don't know the individual's name, made a false statement that it was illegal to amend contracts in the prior year. She since tonight recanted on that statement and now admits that it's not illegal. And in fact, I'll just touch upon 11 and 23 together. The reason we're in this boat, as we touched upon at the last meeting, is for some reason, when we do these contracts with the not to exceed language, we're woefully underestimating what the actual cost of the service is going to be. So by way of example, if I can walk you through, Riker Danzig is the firm that's on Resolution
20 and 23.
Resolution 60, right? So in 2022, you initially awarded that firm, the governing body initially awarded that firm a contract not to exceed $50,000. Then they had to amend that twice. Once in the following year, 2023, right? So you did exactly what someone from the audience said was illegal at the last meeting, right? In the subsequent year, you amended the contract in the proceeding, right? I'm sorry, the council did, as approved by legal and reviewed by management and finance team at the time. So you amended once for $75K and then again for $30K for a total of $155K in 2022. Now, in 2023, the governing body knew that they needed $155 to cover their expense. What did they do when it came to Riker Danzig? They awarded a contract with not to exceed language of $75K. Want to guess what they had to do? Once in 2023 and then again in 2024. Once again, amending in the subsequent year because we didn't have enough to pay the bills in 2023. You guessed it, that you had to amend the contract. Once for $125K, bringing you to a total of $200K for the year 2023. Came back in 2024. Want to guess what the not to exceed language was after spending $155 in 2022 and $200 in 2023? $90K. Want to guess what you had to do again? Amend the contract. This time, first you did it for 25, and now we're asking for 50 when it comes to Riker because they have $30,000 in outstanding bills, and we want to make sure that we have enough in the not to exceed to cover everything. This time, it's a total of 165, which is less than 2023, slightly more than 2022. So you could see two things. One, any insinuation that it's illegal to amend the contract in the preceding year is erroneous, and you could look at the statute that governs that as well.
Can you please tell us what the statute is?
You can check 40A4-59, which deals with transfers when there's insufficient funds to cover claims incurred in the preceding year.
Okay, thank you.
One would think that a certified financial officer or purported certified financial officer would know that before they speak at the mic. Nonetheless, that's for Riker. For my firm, we asked for $5,000 to cover approximately $2,500 in outstanding fees the year before. And again, there's talk about, oh, well, you should have been aware. I wasn't here in November and December to monitor how close people were on the caps. And clearly, as you can see, we've never held fast to that contractual language in the past, because we've, at least in the last 3 years, routinely amended contracts in the following year. So therefore, that's my request. I'm requesting that we pay people for services that are actually provided. I will respect whatever decision the council makes on this request.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Councilor Lockman?
Yeah, who sets those not to exceed rates? They seem totally insane. You know, if every year we have to go and, exceed the not to exceed, and it just seems like they're ill thought out if we do this over and over and over again. So is that the town manager? Is it the CFO? Is it the people who work with the law firms? I don't know. Are you the appropriate person?
Yes, I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening. Thank
The
you.
departments estimate and they request that certain amount.
So the law department, when it was
Yes.
managed by Mr. Burr, set
Yes.
those amounts?
Yes.
And you,
And-
as the CFO, do you review them and say this is a little out of keeping with what it
I
should
will
be?
not have the bills, and I do not deal with the litigation when it is
Oh,
happening.
of course you don't, but you would have a sense of what was paid the year before, just like Mr. Garcia was saying. You could measure what they're requesting against what
Depends on
happened.
the cases also.
Of course it does,
And
yeah.
plus, they also added more firms, and they were distributing the amount among various firms. Riker Danzig might have 50,000 in 1 year, but that 50,000 could have been distributed among 2
Yeah.
firms. Like last year, we got more labor. At one time, we used to have 1 labor firm, but now it is more than 2, I believe. 2 with the 2
No,
different.
and I wasn't insinuating, I hope no one took the insinuation that I was saying that Ms. Rao was.
No, I'm just wondering
think-
what the
I think it
process
starts, it definitely starts, as Ms. Rao said, in legal. I mean, you'll notice when we talk about Riker's contract for this year, I'm asking for the not to exceed to be 155,000, which is significantly higher than you did for them the last 3 years, because I don't want to be in a situation
Right.
where whoever is here post April 1st
Right.
comes back to you and has to ask for an amendment to the contract again. I'm trying to be realistic
Yes,
with the
and
numbers.
if we can amend this contract before that
Right.
period ends, before, like, let's say the Riker Danzig is 150,000, and the law department is managing that. If by 140,000, once it's done, they will know approximately how much more work left. So before that 150 expire and the contract, amount expire, it should come, the good practice is to come before, ask for extension, before the work is done, before the bills are spent.
Yes, except at the end of the year, in November, December, there's a lag time between when you get a legal bill and when it, when you're aware of it. So in that period, you could, of course, exceed the...
Yes, and then right, when you're purchasing something, you know how much it's going to cost.
Not with legal fees. You don't really know. That's something that's a little bit more less tangible than buying a computer or something.
They do know. They do know approximately how much, how much. If you are...
They do an estimate, yeah.
but that's
So
good
what is your
practice. I'm saying,
what
I
is-
know things happen. Things happen.
What
and we
is
can
your
ask.
recommendation so that we don't go through this? Every month we have what is your recommendation?
Good estimation, and then change them during the time before it expires, before the period expired or before the amount.
And do you monitor that, or is it strictly the department that's incurring the expense?
They will have the bills. I don't have the bills.
You don't monitor that?
No, I cannot because I don't know what the law cases are and what work the departments are getting done.
Counselor Williams.
I don't want to belabor the point, but I think the spirit of what Councilor Lachman is saying is, when preparing a budget, right, for the next year, do you look and see whether or not the appropriate budget is allocated for whatever department based upon previous year and say, hey, you guys spent this amount last year and you only budgeted for this amount this year. That's, I think, was the point.
I do get that request from the departments. Every year, usually it goes up, and they know, sometimes the legal new cases come during the time, middle of the year. Sometimes the new legal cases come.
Yes, Manager LaPola?
Just to look at this simply, if you look at the amount that is budgeted for attorneys, right? So say it's, for argument's sake, it's $400,000. We have 5 firms. The initial resolutions every year are approximately $200,000. So these increases in the not to exceed are always going to happen just to get to where the budgeted amount is. We don't break it out, or they don't, the past practice here is they don't say basically we estimate, you don't want to go to the maximum up front because you need some leeway in case there's litigation or something going on. But the reality of it is, when we're just doing those low numbers, we're going to be coming, the law department will be coming back usually because we're going to get to the real estimation, which was the total amount. Some years we have to do transfers because that number is greater due to litigation. With Riker, they handle litigation for the gas leaf blower case, which went to the Court of Appeals and the federal courts, and it was a very, expensive litigation. So those things happen. So the number sometimes even is increased more than we would estimate, but that's what happens. So if you're going to go with half or less of what your total legal budget is, you're going to be coming back on a regular basis.
If the budget is 400,000, they can go up to 400,000 right from the beginning itself. They don't have to go to 200 and keep increasing. It depends on their estimation.
And then, as the manager said, and I think you'll confirm, the statute that I cited says that in the first 3 months of the following year, if you have reserves.
But that's for budget transfer.
We can do transfers to address the
Yes, the budget transfers can be done in the first 3 months.
The first 3 months, exactly.
The last 2 months of the year are the first 3 months of the following year. But the question seems to be here, if I'm understanding correctly, it's not about the budget transfers, it's about the contract, not to exceed for the contract, not the total budgeted amount or budget transfers, which is 48:4, but this is they're asking about 48:9 or 7.
Question.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Councilor Toller?
Thank you. So I guess the first part of Councilor Laughlин's question is who's responsible for pairing these? And so then my question to you is, are you involved in these meetings? Because if you're not at these meetings, then maybe this is why we're always exceeding. I don't know the process here. Maybe you can help us clarify that, because it seems like if departments are putting together their budget for the year, if you will, and trying to come up with a number, you're going to always need your checkbook with you, and you're our checkbook. So are you at these meetings? Are you allowed to attend these meetings?
Mr. Garcia sent his request yesterday, I believe, for this 2025 budget.
Not just this department, I mean any of the departments when they're putting these resolutions together.
In November, in resolutions, no, but all I do is, if in that budget line item, if there is availability of funds, I certify that they are available.
Okay.
That's all.
So then really it's up to the department to come up with these numbers.
Yes.
That was the question she asked. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, not just yet. Councilor Birmingham?
So, Mr. Garcia, I know we've had discussions here around, when you put a not to exceed X amount of dollars, then people will naturally want to hit that target. I agree, when I look at other towns, it seems like they're putting it not to exceeds that are typically higher than here. So I guess, would you recommend sort of, I guess, at a halfway point in the year, is it possible from your standpoint, to look and see how much has been spent, and then potentially, again, I'm not saying we need to be this low, but this, just the concept, obviously we can look at trends over the past few years to see what's been spent, but then is it in terms of the way that the legal billing works, can you go at like a halfway point of the year and say, this is what I'm anticipating, or is it really not?
Some firms are certainly better than others in terms of getting bills in a timely fashion, and obviously there's less empathy for those who lag in submitting their bills in a timely fashion. And then because of our procedures, we have a bit of a lag in getting them paid. But my office has mechanisms to basically track what we've received in terms of invoices and what we have left in the allocated funds under that contract. I mean, we're fairly new in the year this year, so we're not close to it. That's why I think the key thing, the first thing to do is, there could probably be more cooperation. And again, I just got here, but there could probably be more cooperation between the law department and the CFO's office, just in sitting down and, like I said, what have we spent for the last 3 to 5 years? What law department, what do you anticipate coming in? I mean, again, I've been here for 2 months now, and there's certain things that I could already see that I think are going to be coming down the pipeline that we didn't have to deal with last year, but there's also things off the plate that you had to deal with last year. And again, it's an estimate. I definitely agree more with Councilor Lockman than the CFO, in the extent that it's an inexact science when you're trying to put a number on what litigation is going to cost you.
And if I may, no matter what the cost, we're not going to stop handling the litigation. That's part of it, too. So
I mean,
it's a mechanical thing we're talking about here.
You're supposed to put I mean, that's not a practical reality. You've got matters that are pending that need to be addressed. It's not so easy to say, just put your pen down and stop work.
Yeah, exactly. Can we hear?
Madam Clerk, would you do a roll call?
Can we hear from Ms. Dawkins?
No, I mean, we
Why
can
not?
pull this, because...
I'd like to hear from her. She's here. Yeah, she's...
Do we have to do this today for some reason, or can we pull this? 'Cause-
No, I don't.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
I do not have a movement in a second for item
Okay.
11.
Right, so is there any reason why we have to do this today? Because it's taking, a long time, people have questions.
I mean, we brought up at the last meeting, and we kicked it to this meeting. As we just said, if there are transfers needed, you have to do it in the first 3 months. If you kick the, I mean, again, it comes down to whether this council wants to pay people for services that they provide.
Exactly.
Of course we do, but we
Madam
wanna make
Clerk,
sure we
could
get
do
them
a
in
roll
a timely
call,
fashion.
please? Oh, somebody has to move it, and then there has to be a second.
So move. I move it.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham,
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent, Counselor Lockman,
Yes.
Counselor Toller,
No.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville.
Yes. Moving on to number 14, Resolution 14. Counselor Toller?
I just read one.
I'm sorry. Counselor Birmingham?
Okay. Resolution awarding a contract to authorize the purchase of one Western Star 47X truck and related equipment through TIPS Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. And I so move.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, this is another vehicle. This is the one from last time. I don't know if Mr. Ashley is still here, but,
Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening.
So this is a vehicle, right?
Yes.
And it will be used by whom and for what?
This is this will be replacing a unitary, it's a one-use truck that we have 8 of. And it's a 1988 truck that we've been using for a snowplow and spreader. We're replacing, and that's the backbone of our snow removal and spreading capabilities. And we're replacing this with a hook lift. So instead of having this vehicle be sidelined for the entire year, we're getting the full use out of it. The hook lift will allow us to use dumpsters so it can be used throughout the year, instead of having a stationary vehicle.
Who's going to use the vehicle? Because I know we pay other vendors to do some of the work that you're saying this vehicle can do. So I'm just curious, who's going to be actually operating this vehicle
This will be the street department.
for the street department? So any one of them, is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yeah, you need a CDL to operate this vehicle. This was manufactured in September 9th of 1988.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham?
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent. Counselor Lockman?
Yes.
Counselor Toller?
Yeah.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville?
Yes. Moving on to number 16, please. Counselor Lockman? 16, we pulled, right? Yeah. The resolution, okay.
Resolution R-25-053, resolution awarding a contract to United Ford for one Ford F-750 with custom body for the Department of Utilities in accordance with TIPS 230802, National Cooperative Contract. I so move.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is this one already on the utility vehicle list? This,
I'm sorry, I didn't. Number 16 also? Yes, this is a replacement for a vehicle. Again, it's an older vehicle that's being replaced.
who's using that one?
This is for the water department. This is their heavy equipment truck.
But is it on the utility vehicle list that you sent me? Is this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have to ask, some
Yeah,
people
sure,
don't want to
absolutely.
ask questions. We need
Yeah.
to know where this money's going and who's actually using these vehicles, et cetera, so.
Yeah.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with you, Counselor Toller. I remember when we were here at the last meeting, I had a lot of the same concerns and questions that you did, and I asked between the last meeting and now so that I got a better understanding. Anybody else have any questions or concerns?
And this comes out of the water utility budget?
Correct. Yes, this is a self-sustaining department that's operated with the fees that everyone pays for their water utility.
Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham?
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent. Counselor Lockman?
Yes.
Counselor Toller?
Yeah.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville?
Yes. Number 20, Resolution 20. Deputy Mayor, please.
Resolution R-25057, resolution authorizing the township to award a professional services contract for conflict and general litigation attorney to Riker Danzig LLP for CY 2025. I so move.
20, the Riker Danzig.
Second.
Discussion? I think we had a little bit of discussion on this earlier. Thank you, Attorney Garcia, for that. Anybody else have any discussion? Or
I just have maybe, like, if you could explain the difference between, and I know we've discussed this before, but just for, some of these legal contracts are coming under professional service agreements, and some of them are coming under fair and open contracts. Do we need to, can you explain maybe what the, I mean, I know, can you just explain maybe what the difference is and what the sort of?
No, I mean, so you have professional service contracts. How could this is the most Cliff Note version, but professional service contracts are exempt from bidding requirements under the local public contracts law. You could still go out and issue RFQ, but you're not compelled to go at the lowest price. You also don't even need to, for professional services, go out to RFQ. You can just sort of solicit quotes. You pre-qualified, Riker. I don't think I was here when you did it, so I don't know off the top of my head the process that was used. But this is a contract for 2025. They have matters that are rolling over that they need to attend to from 2024. some fairly large, litigation with respect to like Lackawanna. They have the appeal on the leaf blower case that, believe it or not, is still hanging around. That's just two off the top of my head. So that's the reason why I'm asking that we get them a contract so that they can tend to those matters.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Toller?
Yeah, I'm just, you're stating that you said leaf blower for this, and then you said leaf blower for the other resolution. So both these firms are doing that kind of work at the same time, or?
I don't recall saying leaf blower for the last one, but the leaf blower case did obviously occur in 2024. There's there's still some loose ends to be tied up on that case that are carrying over into 2025. They also have some other litigation that they have. I can give you a full case memo on all the active files that they have open.
That would be good. And this is shall not exceed, so is this what you put together as the dollar amount, or is this something else?
I put together a not to exceed dollar amount that I think is in line based on what we had used this firm for the past 3 years, right? It's probably actually still slightly low, based on this would be the lowest. If we did not have to amend this would be the lowest that this firm has billed in that time period. Remember I said earlier, I think in 2022, you had to amend the not to exceed up to 165 to cover all their expenses.
Right.
But as of now, based on what they have on their table now, I think we should come in I think we should come in below the 155 number. But we'll see what else comes in the next 10 months.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the backup that was provided. When we did Resolution R24027, the not to exceed amount was $90,000. The date of that resolution was January 30th, 2024. That was 70% over. Resolution R24148, the not to exceed amount was $25,000. The date of that resolution was 6/11/2024, making us again 70% over, which is 17.5. The total not to exceed amount for those two resolutions, this is the backup, right?
You're talking about 2024.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the total not to exceed amount was 115. I
don't think that.
This is what came with our backup.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have the backup in front of me, but I have.
It's right here.
I have what year are we talking about? 2024. You started them at 2024. You started them at 90. You went to 25, which is the 115 you're talking about, and you just approved. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you to approve on item 60 another 50 to cover their unpaid expenses, which are approximately $30,000 from the 24 year.
Right, and so this would make a total of 22 over the approved amount, $57,376. I think we need to just table this one and work on it and get some firm numbers, because this not to exceed stuff will continue. I'm not questioning your work or your math, okay? It's just we have to find a way to reel in this not to exceed, because the backup, you all have it. You can do the math for yourself to see how much money we keep going over. I mean, where do we find a way to make this work? Do we let the new manager come in and help guide us, or do we just keep approving amounts here because there's sufficient funds available, and then in 3 or 4 months, we're going to have to do it again? It just...
Well, hopefully budgeting with a more proper number, which we're doing this time around, will alleviate that concern. The other issue is the not to exceed is a not to exceed, right? So what you're authorizing is that we have them available. We have them available. Shall we need to use them? And right now, there's pending litigation. So if you table this, they don't have a contract to work. They can't tend to those matters that require their attention right now. Did I say something inappropriate?
You said the not to exceed. That's just what it is.
Right, it's a cap, so they can't go above that without you amending it. It doesn't mean you're going to spend $155,000.
Whatever reason, we seem to always go over. You know what I mean? So there's got to be a way to reel this in and control it. It just...
So maybe for the next meeting, and this is to our CFO, can we get a tally of all the legal expenses for 2024 for council transparency, as well as, budgeting? We're talking about that, but because it's several firms and because it's different sort of specialty topics, can we get a tally for 2024 and 2023 of all of the legal expenses that were spent by
that
the
would be
Township of
good.
Montclair. Okay, thank you.
And I would advise to go high if if there's no point in coming again and again and again. And I know the budget you requested for OE is like $500,000. So if you know already what kind of cases, okay, some leeway. But if the case is already $500,000 worth, then there's no point in asking for only $500,000. If you really know the case is going to go up to $1 million, just be realistic and ask for $1 million rather than doing lowballing and then next year we have to do budget transfers. That's what we ask all the departments to be, as you know what the idea, it kind of said some idea is. So at least we'll know the funds are there available to pay the bills. And we also send in November, December, we regularly send emails to all departments. Hey guys, collect all your bills for the year 2024. Collect all the bills. You know what work anybody's done. And then we kind of repeat that few times a year. We try our best. Sometimes, today I got a bill from 2022, somebody.
Good. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. We're going to move along. I think our Deputy Mayor, Susan Shin-Anderson, has something. Oh, we didn't get there yet. We're still.
That's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to, for number 20, we're discussing resolution number 20, and this is to authorize a contract for 2025, correct?
Correct.
That's it.
Correct. Yep.
So, are there any other firms is this the only firm that at this point is going to be contracted to perform conflict and general litigation services?
Yes, I'm asking for you to approve them. Right, so you pre-approved a bunch of firms. They have pending matters that the township needs them to attend to right now.
Okay.
Which is why I'm asking you to, they can't bill for those services, even though they've been pre-approved, until you approve the contract. We send them a contract, they return a signed contract.
Okay, but I guess my question is so if we authorize this contract, are there going to be other firms that are going to have similar?
There could be, if you got other litigation in and you want to have a different firm represent you, one of the other pre-approved firms, then yeah, there could be.
But at this point, this is the only firm that we're asking to
This
contract
is
with.
the only firm that I've put before you for a contract for 25.
Excuse me, but
Councilor Toller?
Thank you. On our bill list, there is a payment to Riker for this amount, the 21. So is that for past work or is that for this resolution?
I don't have the bill list in front of me. I'd have to take a look at it.
Just for 2025 to have a
Yeah, this is
contract
for-
executed.
No, I understand that, but on our bill list.
The bill list is probably a 2024 expenditure that either
So-
came in 25 because it was from November or December, or didn't get improved until 2025. They might have sent it in late 24, but because of, we have certain internal procedures, it takes time to get that approved. So that's likely what it is. They don't have a contract to bill for 2025 yet.
But they're billing us here. On the bill list, there's a bill here.
Right, because you're paying some 2024
last
bills.
year.
Yeah.
2024 and 2025
So that's what
are
I'm
on here.
saying. We're going to pay a bill from 2024 for $21,000.
Yep.
Approve this for not to exceed, and have to come back and just, the math ain't mathing.
I mean, again, I understand we don't want to pay bills, but I haven't heard one person on the dais or in the audience contest that these are actually services that are provided and needed. We seem to all agree that they're preferring services that we need.
It's not about
I
not
can't
paying the
control. I
bills.
can't control how much.
It's not about not paying the bills.
I
That's
know.
not what I'm saying. I'm just
No, I
asking for
didn't
backup documentation
understand,
and proof
and
that
I'm
we're
happy to
not
provide
double
it.
paying the bills.
We're not.
Councilor
Believe me,
Toller, I'd
the
like to
CFO
thank you very much for your
Kevin.
thoughtful review of each one of these situations that go here. You really are moving us to be our better selves by forcing us to think about the questions that you're asking and trying to make sure that we all understand them. So I'd like to thank you for asking your questions. Did you have anything else at this point in time on them? No. Okay. Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham,
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent, Counselor Lockman,
Yes.
Counselor Toller,
No.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville.
Yes. We're going to move on to Resolution 21, R25-058, and I'm going to ask Counselor Lockman if you would help us with that, please.
Resolution R-25058, it's a resolution of the mayor and the council of the Township of Montclair in support of a Class 2 Category E, manufacturing facility by Genuine Grow LLC. And Mayor, if you don't mind, I'll ask Mr. Marshall, who has started a business, and he's working on getting it going on Pine Street in Montclair, and he is looking for us to give a letter of support so he can move forward with his licensing. So I just thought if you can explain where you are in the process, it might be just helpful to us
I
to
can
know.
give a little background.
Good evening, Mr. Marshall, welcome.
Andrew Marshall, resident of Montclair, and as Ms. Lockman stated, owner of Genuine Grow. So if I may back up a little bit to the previous council, I was awarded the one cultivation
I'm
license.
sorry, can you speak a little louder or into the mic or something? Thanks.
Yeah.
Is the
I was
green light
awarded-
list?
Yes.
Yeah,
I was awarded the one cultivation license for growing cannabis here in Montclair, back from the previous council. We're in the process of getting that facility up and running. We submitted building department permits in January, so that's in process. And last year, I petitioned to the previous council and to this council to increase the manufacturing license to 2. And I'm now here trying to obtain that license. This is the first step towards getting the license. This doesn't grant me the license. It's a process that goes to the state, back to the town, and then back to the state. So I received a conditional license from the state for manufacturing at the same facility we have cannabis growing. We're not increasing our footprint. We're not doing anything. But this license essentially allows us to create products with the cannabis that we're growing in our facility, so we don't have to outsource to a third party. So I got the conditional license, coming here for this resolution. I have the zoning approval, and then the license gets converted at the state level. Then I come back and get the full license from the town.
Councilor Williams, I couldn't understand what he said.
So the previous council granted you this manufactured license?
No, they granted me a license for growing cannabis. This is the license that would allow me to take the cannabis I grow and turn it into other products.
Got it.
I can only grow flower and package it and sell it to either wholesalers or direct to retailers. And this will allow me to take the flower and process it into smokable items, edible items, and so on and so forth. I don't need machinery or anything like that. It just will allow me to do something that I can't do without this official Class 2 license.
Did you ask the last council and they denied you, or what happened?
Well, to be honest, in the beginning, I was really only going for cultivation just because there was a lot going on, and it's a very expensive process, so we were just kind of keeping it, tighten it in the beginning. And then now, once we got our eyes set on this cultivation license and we were able to get funding and able to get construction process going, I thought I would start going for this one.
Councilor Lockman?
So wasn't it also that there was another manufacturer
Correct.
that is not
There was
really
only there was only one of
operating?
each.
Yeah, so
That's right.
it's.
I
so
couldn't
you're-
apply for it, and so now that I'm here asking for the one that I petitioned for last year, I'm hoping to get the
Yeah.
support for it.
So you're looking for a letter of support from a
Correct.
resolution of support?
Yeah, and like I said, and the attorney knows, this isn't a full license just yet. I'll still have to come back and
Deputy Mayor Shin
submit a
Anderson?
license.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Marshall. I just have a question. I would like to know what if you have a plan for, it says such a business would create job opportunities for residents of Montclair.
Sure.
So do you have a plan for?
So we are a small
recruiting?
business. It's a micro business, which is, by the state terms, it's a limited canopy and facility size. You're limited to 10 employees. You're limited to the amount of plants you can grow and the cannabis weight that you can process per month. But yeah, we're only hiring local people, and I have a brother with autism, and so we're teaming up with Read Autism Services, and we're going to bring in adults with autism to help us in the facility. So we're doing a lot of great things.
Mayor?
Yes. Councilor Birmingham?
Can you remind us, what is the revenue transfer to the township?
It's 2% that I believe goes on our invoices to other vendors. So 2% of all sales that we do, but we're not direct to consumer. So
Right.
when we sell 10 pounds of cannabis to a store, we tack on a 2% tax that we collect and then remit to the township every quarter.
So if you have 2 licenses, is it?
There's a tax on both of them, and there's a
Okay.
licensing fee on both of them.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall, I appreciate it.
Councilor Williams?
So, and this isn't a question for you. Thank you. Question: And I guess for the council, there's 2 licenses. Somebody reached out to me recently about applying for the other manufacturer license, which there's no, I believe, process in place for how that gets approved.
Believe that was in the amendments that you made to the cannabis ordinance. I believe you totally overhauled the application. I could take a look at it, and we could talk offline, and you can let the resident, or the interested party know. We can walk through it.
Okay.
We can talk later this week.
Is the other one being used? The other manufacturing one being used?
The other manufacturing license has not come up and running yet. He's still in the process of trying to get his fundraising in place, as far as I know.
So can I, Mayor?
Yes, Deputy Mayor?
I think just, so I believe this resolution is just a support, it sort of recognizes that his company still has to go through the regular application process.
Correct.
That wasn't a separate issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just acknowledging that this is actually, I wanted to get it through my head, like, this is not, we're not granting you anything.
Correct.
You're just,
I have to get
saying
this
that we support
resolution
you
to be
going
able to go
forward.
back to the state. So my conditional license I received from the state for manufacturing last quarter, or in the end of 2024, and it expires in the spring. And so I have to be able to convert it, otherwise that conditional license expires. I have a full license for cultivation. We're just not operational yet, but we will be in the summer.
Once he gets the full license, then he comes back and he has to apply, which I think gets to your question about the application process.
And can I just ask, I mean, you've been going through this for years now.
It's
I know
been a- it's
your
been quite a
process is
process.
down the block from me, and you've done a great job on the building. It looks really good. And I was just kind of curious, oh my God, this has taken forever, and I don't think it's lack of effort on your part.
No,
It's just
certainly
something
not.
going through the state,
I've been living and
right?
breathing this every day while still doing my
Yeah.
regular day job.
Right.
We changed our footprint plans to scale back the plans because it was going to cost too much money to build out the facility, and it's just me and my father. We're not a big
Yeah.
company. We're from Montclair for my whole life, 30 years, 29 years old. So yeah, it's been 3 years of this.
Yeah, I applaud you for your perseverance.
But we're going to do
Madam
it.
Clerk, I'd like to second that. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate
Appreciate it.
that. I'd like to second the motion for Councilor Lockman. And please do a roll call vote.
Deputy Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham,
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent, Counselor Lockman,
Yes.
Counselor Toller,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville.
Yes. Did we complete 23? I know on here it says the bill list, but did we complete 23? I know there was some discussion about it. Did we vote on 23? Not yet? Okay. Someone please do Resolution 23. Is that you, Deputy Mayor? Resolution R-25060, a resolution amending the fair and open professional contract of Riker Danzig LLP for conflict and general litigation attorney for CY 2024. Yeah. We did, we voted on, yes, right, but we voted on CY 2025. And I'm going to move 23 for the CY 2024. So move.
And I second.
We had discussion. Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham,
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent, Counselor Lockman,
Yes.
Counselor Toller, Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville.
Yes. Bill list, please. Councilman Williams.
Resolution R-25-059, bill list resolution. I'm not reading that whole thing.
Who does that? You normally does it? I'm okay. Well,
Never
look,
mind, it's okay.
your
You have
right
to say
brain
the
over
amount.
here normally does that.
Right brain, left brain.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, please.
Yep.
Yes, Manager LaPola.
There were 3 items that were pulled at Councilor Toller's request at the last meeting. 2 of them we're adding back on. One is for Sophia in the amount of $6,394, SOFIA, I don't know what that stands for, and Succeed Together. These are part of the CDBG 2024 programs, and that one is for Succeed Together is $10,250. There was also another resolution,
Where are they?
another item for the payment of the negative bills for $58,255. I provided the counselor with the backup for that, and she has said she's not had time to review them. But
I said I did not have time to review.
that's why I said,
and that
that's why you said you
it
did
could
not
go
have
on
time
for
to
the
review
next
them.
bill list, correct.
Okay,
I only asked for the first two to be added.
so that was Sophia, Succeed Together, and what was the other one?
Right. Succeed Together and Sophia, because they were listed on the, as community development block grants, and originally I thought they were the ones that we had discussed as this council. Ms. Talley explained it was from last year.
Okay,
So they should be added to this bill list to be paid so they can receive their money.
okay. Was there a third item on here that you
Well, I
had?
just had a question about the, let's see, this is escrow, not escrow. There's some payments on here, tax refunds, if you can just kind of let us know what that's for, I guess they're going to residents?
Please tell us what page you're on, please.
There's a couple of them. Again, this isn't paginated, but I can,
It is actually paginated. On the upper right-hand
Page
One of
two,
mine says
page
page
two.
19, one says
Page
page...
two.
Okay,
so for example, I don't want to use the person's name, so I'll use the purchase order number.
yeah, page 19.
Yeah, what's the, I'm still going to give the purchase order number.
Okay, okay, thank you.
2500084. Can you just let us know what these type of refunds are issued for? It's like $5,154.50. There's a couple of them for this type of refund, so.
It's not escrow accounts?
Oh, yeah, if there's an appeal and they're granted, they get their refund back.
Okay.
Could it be I'm sorry, I missed it, but could it be a planning, someone applies for planning and they
I
don't,
couldn't find the one you were
meet the full
talking about, so I
escrow
don't know which
amount,
one
so they get a
she's
refund? Yeah, there's some appeals.
Probably a tax appeal.
Probably tax.
The tax refund?
Right here, that's a
Oh, it says
appeal.
tax appeal on it.
And, okay, so this is probably, nobody knows?
Tax appeals.
Tax appeal.
Okay. There's also a bill payment on here for Schauger, and I thought they were only doing snow plowing, but this says sinkhole repair. Do we have a resolution that says they're doing repairs for us as well? Or contract with them?
Austin?
Because,
The bill for Schauger, please. Yeah, I believe they were called in on an emergency
When they were
sinkhole.
snow plowing.
yeah, but does our contract state that they can do that work? That's what I'm
A
asking.
separate item.
Yes, this is a separate item. This was a quoted work.
A
that we
what?
ca- quoted work. So we have, time from time, we have issues that we can't handle in-house, that we'll go to reliable contractors to handle those issues, such as a sinkhole, or if there's a catch basin that it's beyond our capability.
Okay, I understand that. My question was, do we have a contract that says that we can do this with them?
Well, that would be the purchase order, so that
Okay.
it's not a...
No, purchase order is not, do we have a resolution that says we can approve Schauger to do this emergency type of work? Or is there another vendor or firm that we use to do emergency type of
You
work?
don't have to,
Is Schauger listed through a resolution that we can do emergency work with them?
As an
That's the question.
approved emergency vendor?
Yes.
It's based on quote, so if you get a quote, 3 quotes, and it's under the quote threshold, that's, you don't need a resolution to do that.
Okay.
Yes, Councilor Lockman?
Oh, it's nothing to you. Yeah, I'm wondering, can we get this bill list in alphabetical order? So we can, like, easily access the lines?
I thought it was.
I don't think it is.
It is. It's broken down by
But
sections.
totally in alphabetical order. We
But we
No,
want
no.
to keep the sections.
Different account lines are
Okay.
being used.
Alphabetical, then capital, alphabetical.
And I guess I just have one other question. This
Yes.
Tuberculosis, we're paying a clinic to do it, or is that something our nurses do? And I know Amy's not here, but I'm just curious. Or is that a workshop, or are we paying them to run these?
Where are you now?
This is page 3, and it's for $2,296.
I believe it's the clinics that they perform. That's what it says here. TB clinics, January to March for the first quarter of this year.
When you say clinics that they perform,
Yeah, we don't, based on what I see here, it's, we hired this company that does the tuberculosis testing for us.
okay.
Any
But
other,
nurses did that.
anything else for the bill list?
Oh, if someone else has a question, they could go ahead. No, I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Was it moved and second?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please.
Deputy Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Birmingham,
Yes.
Counselor D'Amato absent, Counselor Lockman,
Yes.
Counselor Toller,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Baskerville.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to need some assistance from you, Attorney Garcia, because I'm going to make a motion that we go into the executive session, and I'm not really clear about why we need to have an executive session this evening. So can you help me out, please?
Sure, so like item 7, pending or anticipated litigation, we were initially going in to discuss legal strategy surrounding Woodman Field. Now we're going in to discuss the pleadings that were filed late this afternoon. A motion to intervene in Montclair Board of Education v. Township of Montclair. And then also number 8, we need to go in to discuss the terms and conditions of employment for a township employee.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that the council adjourn to executive session for the matters of discussing legal matters pertaining to the Woodman Field and Board of Education matters, and also that we discuss the contract of, which one is that, number 7?
Number 8.
Number 8. Oh, that we discuss the special labor employment contract?
Terms and conditions of of employment for a township employee.
Isn't that one that you just explained?
Yeah, that's number 8.
Huh?
Yes, that's number 8, yeah.
Okay, and so for number 8, the terms and conditions of the labor attorney for Cleary Giacobbe Alfieri.
It's a matter that's going to be.
We have to discuss a personnel matter.
Oh, a personnel matter, okay. It would be helpful, too, if I knew before we had this, but thank you, I appreciate it. And just for the future, please, if we're going to have executive sessions, may I please know in advance what they are? So we're going to go into executive session for what he said. And I'm going to ask, please, that the people that are still here with us, first I'd like to thank you all. I'd like to thank you for coming and sharing your concerns and helping us to usher in our new manager, and say farewell, and thank you to Manager LaPola. If you would exit at this time, we're going to go into executive session. Thank you so much.
Who's the second?
I so move.
We have to vote on
Okay,
it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Second.
I'd like to make a motion that we exit the executive session and return to public meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a good evening. Great meeting.